So 2 weeks ago, Eagles fans were trying to say that Nick Foles was better than Dak Prescott. Now, you fast forward 2 weeks, and now all of a sudden, these same Eagles fans want Nate Sudfeld to start over Nick Foles in the playoffs. Philly 500 is here. I am Adrian Fecchio. It was not a pretty game today. 6-0 regular season finale for both teams between the Cowboys and Eagles. So basically like a preseason game, and boy, did it feel like it.
Boy, it did. It was a brutal, brutal, brutal game. Eagles did not play their starters long. They didn't even play their second string long. We were at third string guys, and it was a hard game to watch. I'm not going to lie. It was a hard game to watch. Sidney Jones got to play. We got to see Sudfeld take some snaps, but this was a hard game to watch. And even though it was meaningless, there are some things that I am concerned about coming out of this game that I'm sure we'll get into later.
Yeah, and well, the first thing I want to get into is this. All right, so you have Nick Foles out there, and look what he did today. What was he? He was 4 of 11 for 39 yards with an interception. Now, obviously, that looks hard, and it was. But my thing is this. Why did he only play like a quarter plus? Why didn't he exit the game with confidence? Why didn't Doug Peterson keep him in the game? He should have played at least a half. I mean, that one throw to Jeffrey, where, by God, he was so late on it, and then he throws it into double coverage, doesn't see the coverage underneath, doesn't see the defender underneath. I mean, by God, you have to keep him out there, get him to string some throws together so he exits the game with some confidence. He does not look right at all.
No, and I said in my videos earlier in the week, I said, if it was up to me, I wouldn't have started him. I wouldn't have started any of the starters. But once you make once you make the decision that you're going to start him, you can't let him come out with no confidence looking like crap. You tell me how playing that many reps and what he did today, how does that help him for the playoffs?
It didn't do anything.
I would have rather him sit on the bench and feel better about himself than I'm sure he feels today. I don't like that they played him, but when they did to play him, he should have been out longer, and he should have been at least able, like you said, maybe get a drive, score a touchdown, something. But now, it's going to be a what Foles are we getting in the playoffs? It's going to be 2 weeks of that. So I agree with you 150,000 zillion percent. Definitely.
That's the one thing that just boggled my mind. And I'm trying to find here when he exited. So
I want to say second quarter, right?
Okay, so he threw the interception, and then they went a 3-and-out, and then he exited the game. That is the worst time to take him out of the game. So he just threw a pick and had a 3-and-out, and you took him out.
Yeah. I like I said, I didn't see any benefit of playing him going in. I didn't see anything coming out of this game that makes Nick Foles better, makes the players feel have confidence in him. I don't like any of it. Nick Foles does not look right. He doesn't look like he has confidence. He doesn't look comfortable. Now, I know it's a meaningless game, very vanilla in a lot of ways, but there's still throws that I expect him to make. It just something about Nick Foles, the way he looks right now, is not. It makes me worried. It's the single most worrying thing I have going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
I do.
He's still struggling with his reads, struggling to get through those progressions. He's really slow. He's not anticipating, and he's struggling. He doesn't look confident, and that's the biggest thing. He doesn't look confident at all.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. And just like, did you notice that when Sudfeld came in and made a couple throws, how much more quick the ball gets to the receivers? It seems like when Foles throws, the ball takes forever to get to the receiver right now. I don't think he's throwing off his right foot. I think he's off balance. I think Foles is a little bit of a mess right now. I think they'll fix it. I still am going to stick with this team in the NFC. I still think they'll get there and they'll fix this, but Foles has got a lot of things to fix before we play a real game. A lot.
Yeah, and we'll get into some Doug Peterson talk in a second. Before that, let's get into Sudfeld, because he did look pretty good for what he is, okay? 19 23, 134 yards. Obviously, very conservative game plan when he was in there. I thought the best throw he made was one that didn't count. So
Yeah.
you had the penalty on the play, and this is a play where he showed off a little bit of pocket awareness, slid to the left, and made a really strong throw to Marcus Johnson along the sideline. I thought he was making better decisions. He was getting the ball out quicker than Foles. But overall, I mean, 19 to 23, 134 yards against Dallas. This was his first start. It's kind of crazy to say, well, you're going to start Sudfeld over Foles now, right? That's not going to happen.
I don't think it could happen. I don't see how you can go into the playoff game and start him when he's never even made one start. But, I mean, I'll say this. He does have physical tools. He's big. He can throw the ball, and he has some mobility. I mean, both the plays, you're talking about the one pass he made right at the sideline to Johnson, right? It was a third down play. It came back. And then he has that 20-yard scamper, 22 yards, and then they get another penalty. Every time he had something going, they got a penalty. But what bothered me about when Sudfeld was in is if he's a third-string quarterback, why not let him wing it? Not let him throw downfield. They were so conservative and worried about what he was doing. I would have just let the kid go out and ball and just throw, fire. I thought that they missed an opportunity to see what he looked like throwing long, that kind of thing. I thought it was too conservative.
Yeah, I mean, there are going to be arguments made for Sudfeld over Foles. I'm sure. I think it's a little far-fetched. I think it's a little too much, but that just goes to show how bad Nick Foles has been. That there has been now we have a quarterback controversy with Nate fucking Sudfeld and Nick Foles. This is pathetic.
Nate Studfeld, dude. It's Nate Studfeld.
That's true. Nate Studfeld.
Well, look. I will say this. His balls get to the receivers a lot quicker. He has a lot more mobility, but I can't start him over Nick Foles. One of the things I liked about Foles in the past was I thought that Foles was mentally strong enough to recover from these kind of things. So I expect him to, you know what I mean? Now, what'll be interesting is if Foles was struggling during a playoff game, how short of a leash would Doug Peterson go? That's what I think would be more interesting. If Foles struggled like he did the last two games, would they be like, the hell with it? Now, I think, I don't see Foles not starting in the playoff game. I just that's not going to happen. I don't believe that'll happen, and I don't believe it should happen.
Yeah, and even if you look at the tape today, I will watch the all 22. But there was one play where I did notice. Well, he took 2 sacks, and the one sack that he took, he had Trey Burton running wide open over the middle, and this was the third down. So it's not like Sudfeld was perfect out there. I mean, the Eagles didn't score any points with him, so it's not like we could go out there and viably say, well, Sudfeld is better than Foles. I mean, he had a better game, but
no.
You're not going to just all of a sudden make this change. The other reason why you don't make a change too is this. Foles is the one that's practicing with all the ones. It's not Sudfeld. And even the guys that were in there with Sudfeld, it was like Mac Hollins and Marcus Johnson and the backups that aren't playing with Foles. So you had that. And the other thing, we didn't get to see him throw a deep ball. So I don't know how his deep ball accuracy is. I don't know how his accuracy is on the intermediate routes because we really didn't see that either. So as good as Sudfeld looked, I mean, 19 to 23, it was overly conservative and obviously not even close to what I would want to see to have him now all of a sudden just supplant Nick Foles. He didn't show me enough to supplant Nick Foles. If he would have went out there through 5 touchdowns and okay, maybe we have more of a conversation, but it's not like he led the Eagles to a victory here.
No. In the end of the day, he didn't do anything either. I agree. You can't replace Foles at this point. You're stuck with him.
You might be surprised, though, how many people on Eagles Twitter right now want Nate Sudfeld over Nick Foles.
Oh, I heard it in my live stream. Everybody wanted him. Well, before him, they wanted to sign Kaepernick or RG3, which is impossible. You're not signing a quarterback to come in now. But then when he came in and he threw 2 passes, you could tell he had more in his throws than Foles. And it's like, all right, he's our starting quarterback. We want to replace him. And I get it, but that's because Foles has been so horrendous.
That's
Foles
why
has got to be better.
That's exactly why it's being said, because Foles has been that bad, and that's the concern.
It is a concern. That is a huge concern because, look, I know it was vanilla, but, I mean, there were throws that he just should not miss today. Foles looks uncomfortable. He doesn't look right. I agree with you. I don't know what to say. Foles is going to have to fix it. And Doug Peterson, which I know we'll get into, he has to be a good coach. We got to see what he is. He has to come up with a plan to fit this offense around Foles, around those running backs, and take advantage. You do not have Carson Wentz. And even Sudfeld, did you see him try to do the Carson Wentz quick turn? He couldn't do it. Are you kidding? He tried.
He tried his damn heart out. He tried his – that was funny. Sudfeld.
Yeah.
Oh, man. He did keep me entertained while he was in the game.
Yeah. It made it more entertaining because it was really – I mean, it was hard to watch anyways, but it was really hard to watch. With
nothing. This bad.
Yeah, this was bad. And look, for all I got to say is Dallas had Prescott, they had Elliott, and they had playing pretty much backup defensive players, and they looked bad too.
Yeah.
I mean, bad. Oh, man.
Yeah, but I talked about Doug Peterson a couple of minutes ago. Now we'll get into him. So, well, you kind of answered it a little bit, but what does he have to do heading into the divisional playoffs now to get this corrected? Because on the film study I did last week with Brendan, he thinks there are some correctable issues, and I do agree with him. In terms of the anticipation, there is no reason why you shouldn't be able to see a cornerback playing off 10 yards pre-snap and not being able to locate that and throwing a stop route. These were a couple instances last week on tape that we saw. And if he plays with a little bit more anticipation, and if Doug Peterson can really coach him up in 2 weeks, I don't think we're going to see this Nick Foles in 2 weeks. I think we're going to see something a little bit better than what we've seen.
Yeah, I agree. I expect to see a better Foles. I expect to see a better game plan. And to me, I think that you got to turn – I mean, they've been very conservative with Jay Ajayi. And I think him and Corey Clement you can really utilize in the playoffs in a way that teams haven't seen all year. And I would really go heavy on Ajayi and Clement. And I'm not just talking about running ball. I mean, there's so many times where the screen pass is wide open for this team, and they got to utilize it. And I think they need to – it needs to be all hands on deck. But I want to see Doug not come out and say, well, we're not going to change what we do just because we don't have Carson Wentz. I don't think that's good enough. If Foles has a problem anticipating certain throws, if he has a problem where it's just not getting fixed, you have to have stuff to help get through that. And I think Doug is going to have to do. I think he's going to have to outcoach whoever he's playing if they're going to win. I just do. I think we're really going to see what kind of coach Doug Peterson is. A lot of people say Doug Peterson made Carson Wentz. Others say Carson Wentz made Doug. We're going to see. Maybe, hopefully, it's both, that they both are good at what they do. And I think we're going to really see what Doug does because he's going to have to outcoach the other team. It just is.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think it's fair to say at this point that Carson Wentz was the reason why Doug Peterson's offense was working so well. I agree. We can obviously see the drop off here from Wentz to Foles. All right, so the problem here with Peterson the last couple weeks with Foles, 38 pass attempts in each game. Okay, that's too many. That's way too many. And he's gotten a little bit more pass happy over recent weeks. So even with Carson Wentz, he only threw the ball 38 times or more 4 times this year. They came on the first 2 games of the year and the last 2 games that Wentz played. So what's this showing? It's showing that Peterson is starting to resort back to his old habits of letting Carson Wentz wing the ball and letting Foles wing the ball and letting him get pass happy. The playoffs, that didn't really come out right. I was stumbling, but in the playoffs, Jay Ajayi didn't play today. I'm hoping this is like a little bit of a precursor, and maybe this is telling me, okay, they're really going to be feeding Jay Ajayi the rock in the playoffs. They're really going to be feeding Clement. They're really going to be feeding Blunt, and they're going to have to because they need to be in more manageable third down situations.
Yeah.
The Eagles are 1 for their last 17 on third down with Nick Foles in the game. And it's because they're not in good third down situations. They're not running the ball effectively on first and second down. They're not even trying to run the ball as much as they should.
Yeah.
They should be pounding this goddamn rock, and they're not.
Yeah, I agree. Totally 100%. And I will say, though, on Doug's behalf, I mean, this was a game where they didn't want to show anything. They didn't want to do anything. It was very vanilla. They wanted to get through the game. So I don't put a lot of stock in what I saw play-wise. I'm trying not to anyways today, like in terms of what they did play-wise. What concerned me more was the inefficiency of Foles the times he did play. Just certain passes he should not be missing, that kind of thing. But I assume that Doug will change it up in the playoffs. And I say, lean on Ajayi, please, because every game he's played, he's been productive for us. Every game.
Yeah. Because you're gonna have to, if you're gonna lean on Foles, you gotta have 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. They need to be makeable third down situations. None of this 3rd and 11. You're not gonna get a 3rd and 11. You don't have Carson Wentz in the game.
Yeah.
You don't have to. You don't have to mask deficiencies anymore.
Yeah, and you want that play action to work. If you can get 3rd and short, that play action work, that will help Foles, especially with chances to use his advantage. People think he throws a nice deep ball. That's how you get him to be able to do it. So we're in total agreement about it. And
he has to throw more deep balls too, because the thing that the Raiders did last week is because you remember the second drive of the game, the Eagles really ran the ball really well, and they toted the hell out of the rock, and then they scored on the screen. Then the Raiders brought 8 men in the box, and they dared Nick Foles to beat them. And Doug Peterson remained overly conservative. So that to me needs to change. And Doug Peterson has shown that he tends to be a little bit on the conservative side. I mean, we see the air yards, that air yards number all the time. That's because of Doug. He doesn't like to throw the ball past 10 yards for some reason. He did open it up for Carson Wentz this year, obviously. I mean, Wentz playing like an MVP, I would hope he would. But with Nick Foles and Sudfeld, see, I did Sudfeld accidentally.
Sudfeld, baby.
Sudfeld, baby. But with those two guys, I mean, I'm not seeing much past 10 yards.
Studfeld and what? Deep
penetration. There are two keys. There are two keys to the postseason. Rodney McLeod needs to be deeper than the deepest, and Fletcher Cox needs to be deeper than the deepest.
That's it. Super Bowl. Yeah. No, I mean, we agree. I mean, I still believe that this team will fix it. And I don't know. I can't say we're done because we're the number 1 seed and it's all. I just can't do it. I gotta believe they'll fix it somehow. But there's things that we're going to be concerned about going in. That's for sure. And we'll see how this team comes out and plays. We'll see.
Yeah. All right. So another person who made his debut today, long time coming, Sidney Jones in a cornerback.
Sidney Jones.
For the Eagles. And I'll tell you what, definitely looked like he played his first game. Bit on a sluggo. Did make a couple tackles, but I'd say he needs a couple games under his belt.
Yeah. Yeah, he took a bad angle on the Elliott, got around the outside of the corner there. He bit. Like I said, I don't know how much is his rust. I don't know if there was a couple times he didn't look like he was running full speed. I don't know. I liked seeing him out there. It's great, but like I said, if it was up to me, I would have rested him the whole year. But maybe they feel they really need him. I don't know, but it was nice to see him nonetheless. And I think for his first time out, he was fine.
Yeah. I don't have any problem with Sidney. I expected this, because
yes, exactly.
Because there were people that wanted Sidney Jones to play, and not only play in the playoffs, and that is a little bit far fetched because the kid's coming off an Achilles injury. He needs some games back under his belt before he can be back to 100% the way he's used to playing. So, but the encouraging thing to see was him embracing contact, and that's something that you want to see following an injury like an Achilles or a knee injury. To see him embrace it and make tackles, and he did that.
Yeah. I thought for his first time out, he did pretty good. I mean, this isn't a kid that is coming back to college football. He's coming back to the NFL. He's never played a snap in the NFL. No OTAs, no training camp, no preseason, no regular season games. It's hard to imagine that you're going to throw him in 1 or 2 weeks and he's going to play at a playoff level. It's just not realistic. And but it was nice to see him, and you can see that he has the physical tools. You can see that it's there. It's just a matter of him getting healthy and playing, and I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, the all 22 is going to do a better job showing me how he played, because it's a cornerback. It's really tough to evaluate as you're watching the game live. But I will say that Rasul Douglas did not look good today.
No.
He struggled big time, man. So there are a couple instances where the ball's being thrown his way. He's not even looking back for it. And I don't know what that was about. That happened on several occasions. He missed some tackles. And then it reached the point in the fourth quarter where Dallas was just targeting him on every snap.
Yeah, targeting every snap. And you know what? Prescott missed a couple throws, too, where he had guys beat, and he just flat out missed them. So, I mean, if you're playing a Drew Brees or somebody like that in playoffs, you're going to pay for that. So we gotta be tightened up on that. I'll tell you another guy that I thought played really good, and it was nice to see him out there, was Steven Means. Every time Steven Means plays, he plays well. Yeah. I just really like that guy,
Means
do. He does. I like that guy a lot. But look, man, this is a meaningless game, right?
It was. It was a meaningless game. I'm not going to sit here and throw a fit like I'm sure a lot of other Eagles fans are going to, but I still don't like the way Nick Foles played, though. So I
agree.
Thing coming out.
That's number one concern going into the playoffs, Nick Foles, because it's not just like he had a bad quarter. He played bad last week against the Raiders, and there's nothing that he showed that he was going to improve or fix his mistakes from a week ago. He looked like he was continuing the same game. And that is a concern, and that worries the hell out of me. It does. I'm worried about Foles. I really am. I'm not going to lie. That's my number one concern.
You know what the silver lining might be, though, over the last couple of weeks? The defensive line. The defensive line, the D-line, it looks like it's ready to start revving things up a little bit. Now, I don't know if this defense is Super Bowl elite good enough to be able to carry this team in the playoffs, but at the same time, the NFC isn't that great, so we'll see what happens. But the last 2 weeks, the D-line has really controlled the game. And last week, Chris Long and Vinny Curry, we saw Vinny Curry make a couple nice plays again today. Chris Long had a couple hurries. So I'm really encouraged to see that out of the D-line. I'm encouraged to see that Jim Schwartz made some adjustments with the defensive line as well. I talked about this last week. Brandon Graham playing some D-tackle. So you have that going on. He's bringing more pressure on third down. So this defensive line, they know what's ahead of them, and they know what they need to do in order for the Eagles to reach the promised land. So they're revving it up, and they're going to be bringing it come the playoffs. And that's the one good thing that I've seen the last 2 weeks is the D-line. And it's kind of been overlooked because everyone's so focused about Foles.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they've been really good. And that bodes well going into the playoffs, because we're going to need that defense to step up. They're going to have to step up and do their part because, look, you're not going to score 40 points a game in the playoffs. You're just not. So we need them to step up, no doubt about it.
Yeah. The Eagles, the way that they're going to have to win games in the playoffs, they're basically going to have to hold opponents to less than 14 points. But the way this offense looks now, instead of 20 points, it's got to now be like 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. I know. It's going to be tough. The good thing is it's cold and it's in Philly. That's the big advantage. That's why I still favor this team coming out of the NFC because of those two things. And we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to win games 13-10. It's gonna have to be that's the way it's gonna have to be. So it's hard to have confidence in Nick Foles right now. It's tough.
Yeah, it is. It is. And my hope is that they can fix this. And like I said before, the one thing I've always felt about Foles was that I think he can get past the mental aspect of, when you're struggling and that kind of thing. At least in the past, I've always thought that. So I think Foles will be able to clear his head and be ready. And hopefully we'll see improvement, And that we're just going to have to wait and see.
Yeah. All right. I did write Nate Jerry's name down, so I did want to talk about him a little bit. I thought he made some nice.
Dropped that interception.
He
dropped that nice interception, but I liked his. I thought he played good. Yeah.
There was this one play on the boundary on a run where he took on Leal Collins, a guy that's like fucking 100 pounds bigger than him, and so he takes him on, and then he brings down Ezekiel Elliott for a 1-yard loss. That was a very impressive play for a rookie.
Yeah.
I liked seeing that.
Yeah, I liked him a lot, and I thought he was going to get that interception. And if he would have been up in it, that may have been pick 6 too. Really, the defense for the most part played Dallas the starters or second string, and they shut them down. They did a great job for the most part. Dallas missed a few throws and that kind of thing, but I thought the defense was pretty good.
Yeah. By the way, I just pulled up the chat. I'm seeing EDP is in the chat. What up?
What up, buddy? What up?
Hey. Yeah. So, oh man, I must have seen stuff in the chat. So people want to bring in RG3. I don't want to bring him up.
You can't bring anybody from a quarterback like RG3. Any quarterback who's going to come in and then just jump out on the field and lead this team. They haven't been around. They don't know the plays. They don't know the calls. I don't see how that could work. If you wanted to do that, it had to be a while ago.
RG3 hasn't thrown a pass since last December? So he's not in football shape. You'd have to bring him in. He'd have to know the playbook in 2 weeks. That's not going to happen. He also has no cohesion with the wide receivers. So if you think it looks bad with Nick Foles out there, you haven't seen shit because RG3 is going to be 10 times worse.
Yeah, there's nothing. You're stuck with what you have. You're stuck with what you have, and what you need a coach, whether he can do it or not. He's got to figure a way to get his quarterback playing consistent and being able to move the ball, and he's got to change things up enough where he's out coaching the other team. That's to me the whole crux of this whole thing. Can Doug Peterson do a good job coaching without Carson Wentz? Can Nick Foles fix his game and be consistent? Can Foles at least be decent? If Foles can be decent and move the ball, then maybe we got a shot. And we got to see. We don't know.
We also have the Sports Fury in the building. What's going on?
There you go.
Yeah. We got EDP and the Sports Fury. Nice.
Shout out to EDP. Shout out to the Sports Fury. What's up, everybody? Happy New Year's.
Yeah. So, EDP. I'm sure you and I will be doing a show at some point. We'll do something.
Eggnog time, yo.
Yeah. Someone say, my man, Bonzology, EDP must maintain negativity for the Birds to have a shot. I completely agree.
I don't think he'll have any problem with that. I think he'll be all right. He's going to bring it, 100%.
Yep. Oh, man, I just saw Colin Kaepernick. No, please stop it. How about Torrey Garbage Smith? That was bad, that drop. Really.
I actually missed the drop because I had run out. I thought I could get home in time, and I literally turned my stuff on as that happened. But you know what I said about Torrey Smith from when they signed him. I was not a fan of it. I thought he wasn't good his last year in Baltimore. He wasn't good in San Francisco. And nice guy, but it's kind of what I expect.
Yep. All right. So we got 30 minutes, dude. How did we do?
That was pretty hard. We were like, that's going to be hard on this game.
Yeah. But we're at 29 technically.
29. He'll
29
just
minutes.
say deep penetration and Studfeld, and that should get you over to 30 minutes, right?
All right, let's see if I can really elongate this. Deep. No, it wasn't that good. Deep penetration. Deep. Deep. Go on, I got to keep saying, yes, we've reached 30 minutes. There we go.
Beautiful.
This offense sucks fucking dick.
Yeah. Today, I can't argue with him. I mean, how you gonna argue with him?
I can't argue with him either. I mean, Jesus, I can't get over the throw where Foles was 10 seconds late and still threw it to Jeffrey and tried to force it in. I can't get that image out of my head.
Yeah. I just, I think the thing with Foles is like Foles needs to have perfect form. His mechanics have to be perfect. He has to set his feet. He has to do all that to get anything on the ball. If he doesn't, he just doesn't have a big arm. He has a weak arm. I mean, literally, like when he throws a ball, I'm like counting the time for the ball to get to the receiver. He has to have perfect form. That's why when he gets pressure, it causes a lot of problems for him. So
yeah, I'm also seeing people wanting to fight EDP. So we got these internet trolls that talk shit on a keyboard, but then would be afraid to do anything to EDP if they saw him in real life.
They want to fight him. Why do they want to fight him?
I don't know. I don't know why people want to fight EDP.
I like EDP. EDP is great. I don't know. Look, to me, growing up, now maybe I'm an older generation Eagle fans, but negativity and cursing and being negative on Eagle is what the older people used to do. So when I see him do those kind of things, it's what I expect that. So to me, he's just saying what he feels, and he should. So I don't know why people get mad at that. Everybody has their opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sports Fury. Why would anyone want to fight with EDP? I want to have a drink with him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like him. I like EDP. The little, I've gotten a chance to talk to him. Well, not talk, but like message. He seems like a great guy.
I see. The problem is the people in the chat don't know the real EDP, and we do, and we know that he's genuine and all that, and he has spent so much money on Eagles merchandise. Like everything in his closet is Eagles. Everything that he has is Eagles. And for people to think that he's not a real Eagles fan, I think is ridiculous.
Yeah, I see. The one thing I never do is I never, ever would say you're not a fan or you're not a fan, or if you don't do this, you're not a fan. Nobody can tell somebody they're a fan or not. That's just the most ridiculous thing ever. A guy that passionate, whether he's saying that they suck and saying what he thinks, that much passion is a fan. I'm sorry. He deals with how he deals with it. I deal with it. I've punched holes in my parents' new couches before over Eagles. We all go through it. Yeah. I respect EDP. I like EDP, and hey, he's okay with me.
Yeah. So there it is. I now I know how EDP is, man. Why he's the way he is. God damn. People just attacking him for no reason. It's fucked up. Man, I tell you, I was with the Saints, he said. Yep. There it is.
Look, it's going to be interesting. In my personal opinion, I don't think the Eagles are going to come out in the playoffs and play like this. I think it's going to be like high intensity. Everybody's going to be pumped up, and the team's going to come out, and they're come out high adrenaline, and they're going to take it to a team. I think the home field will matter. I do. I think they'll fix this. But yeah, of course, the way you've seen them play the last 2 weeks is concerning. Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so we'll do final thoughts right now. EDP was asking whatever happened to Daniel Teo Nesheim. He actually passed away, unfortunately, but I do remember that name, and the fact that I can pronounce that name.
Was that
Daniel
Cowboy, right?
Well, actually, he is a former Cowboy as well, I believe.
Yeah.
Right. But he also
I thought he was.
He was
and he was
by
right.
He was drafted by the Eagles. Daniel Teo Nesheim. That is a name right there. Halapuluvati Vaitai and Daniel Teo Nesheim.
I got no shot. I'm a dingbat. Kaya Patali Vaitai Vaya. It ain't gonna happen, dude. I got no shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can barely say my name right.
Oh man. All right, let's do final thoughts. We'll hop out. What do you have to say?
Okay. Last two games, as far as Foles goes, very scary, very concerning. But there's time. There's 2 weeks. We have home field, and I believe that they're going to fix this. They're going to get this thing right, and I think that they're going to come out and they're going to come out on fire, and that's what I'm expecting. I expect this team to win. I don't expect them to lose. If they lose, I consider that a disappointment.
Yeah. All right, that's a good final thought. My final thought: Nate Sudfeld, greater than Dak Prescott. Yeah, there it is.
I love it.
All right,
I love it.
We're out. Everyone enjoy your New Year's. Oh, I forgot to mention Mike.
Do it now?
Yeah, I'll do it now. I meant to say it earlier in the show. So Mike Owens, the guy that I founded the Bitter Birds with, he got married on Friday. So congratulations to him. And he picked the perfect week to go on his honeymoon, because it's going to be a long 2-week wait. But at least one of those weeks, he's going to be in Aruba. So lucky guy.
Yeah, that is genius. You know what I mean? We need him to pick us some games and some numbers and some winners, because that is a genius spot for him. Perfect.
To be able to plan out before the season starts, to pick out a date for a wedding, and to know that the Eagles are going to have a first-round bye, that is impressive.
That is impressive. That's awesome, man. And congratulations to Mike. Wish him nothing but the best.
Yeah. That was a really fun time and fun wedding for sure. The last song of the night was the Eagles fight song. He sang all the lyrics. It was great. He danced like an animal, as did I. So yeah, it was a really fun time.
We need the video. I'll put it on my channel. We need the Bitter Bird dancing video.
I think I might be able to get a video. I can make a video because there was a photographer and also a videographer there. So when I came out to my entrance, I did a little slide, a little dance move. So we'll see if we can find that.
You got to have that, yeah.
Yeah. So Mike is like, God, I forget the kid's name, but you ever seen Big Daddy with Adam Sandler? And when the kid puts his glasses on, like he's invisible, he can all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So that's like Mike when it comes to dancing. So you just put the sunglasses on him, and he'll go in the middle of the dance floor. He doesn't care, and he just starts busting a move.
That's awesome.
That's Mike Owens in a nutshell. So
that's great. Yeah,
he'll be coming back in a few weeks, I believe. So
I haven't had a chance to meet him yet, but definitely congratulations to him.
Yep, he's a great guy. You'll love him.
Yeah.
All right. So just wanted to do a little shout out for him as well before we ended our show. All right. So that's Philly 500. I am Adrian Fecchio. We're out of here, and hopefully the Eagles can clean this up in 2 weeks.
Hopefully.